Finally, her supervisor came to take a look, and that was part of the whole assessment is the supervisor comes and looks. And he did, and he took me through all the paces. And he said, I have to tell you, in my over 20 years of experience as a physical therapist, that I have never, he said, you may be either number one or number two, the fastest recuperating, the fastest healing, the fastest getting back all your range of motion that I have ever seen. He said, I'm frankly just astounded. Maybe you know some people that perhaps were seemingly harmed by the COVID vaccine. She was, after the second dose, her fine familial tremors turned into exaggerated tremors, and she couldn't even hold a cup to her mouth or eat soup with a spoon or eat salad. And we went to our doctor. They did all sorts of tests. He sent us to a neurologist, all sorts of tests, and everything was normal. And they concluded that she had had a bad reaction to the COVID vaccine. And there's nothing they could do about it. And they said that, we're so sorry. Yes, you've had a reaction, but nothing we can do. And so she's lived with this for over 2.5 years. And we have some dear friends. We saw them at a funeral, and we hadn't seen them in years. And it was so good to see them. And they said, well, we'd love to come over to your house and share something that we think might really help Kathy's tremors. And I love and trust these people. I've known them for years. They blessed us with a sleeve of X39 and also another. We both put it on because I had elective total knee replacement on my right knee and was gearing up for the 4-month wait to have my left knee done. It's me and my body, and I know what I've experienced with my right knee replacement. I had my right knee done November the 7th, this last year, and I had my left knee done in March the 6th. So I'm really only about 5 weeks out. And I can only remark to you and tell you what I experienced. Rapid healing of my knee and the incision. So she continued to give me coming 3 days a week for physical therapy, and she could not believe how quickly I was progressing. Finally, her supervisor came to take a look, and that was part of the whole assessment is the supervisor comes and looks. And he did, and he took me through all the paces. And he said, I have to tell you, in my over 20 years of experience as a physical therapist, that I have never, he said, you may be either number one or number two, the fastest recuperating, the fastest healing, the fastest getting back all your range of motion that I have ever seen. He said, I'm frankly just astounded. 2 weeks out after surgery, I was walking without a cane. I went back to work my 3rd week after surgery, and the physical therapy faculty that are in my building were astonished. They wanted to see my incision. They wanted to see me walk. They sent me on a catwalk and made me walk down the hall and then turn and walk back to them. And they all said, if you hadn't told us that you'd had total knee replacement, we would have never guessed that your gait is perfect. We cannot tell by the way you're walking and all that you had any kind of surgery. And then they wanted to see my incision. We had some friends that came over who knew very well about my wife's condition. And remember, she's literally like this, trying to function. Now, if she pulls her hands close to her chest, she would attenuate it some, and the shaking was smaller. Our friend came over and she said, Kathy, what has happened to you? And she said, what do you mean? She said, stretch out your hands. And Kathy stretched out her hands, and she was just barely tremoring. It was like it was before she had the vaccination. Kathy has had tremendous progress there. And 3 days ago, I was getting ready for work, and I looked in the mirror and I thought, what what is going on here? This is crazy. And my little bald head is sprouting hair. And I asked Kathy, I said, look at my hair, look at my head. Do you see this? And she said, oh my gosh.